Good morning. It's Monday. A new rule proposed by the Trump administration would allow the direct shipment of guns to buyers' homes in what could be one of the biggest changes to gun regulations in recent history. The ATF predicts that half of all gun buyers would order guns for home delivery. Some say there could actually be far more. The concern is that this might put small gun dealers out of business. I think it's kind of like Amazon putting small local stores out of business. Seems like the small local businesses might be a thing of the past. COVID really got a lot of small businesses out of business when the only ones that were allowed to be open were Home Depot, Lowe's, and Walmart. I kind of think it's a plan. I see President Trump is still having fun online. I understand he was serious about wanting to be carved into Mount Rushmore. I believe he was told there's not enough room. They were probably meaning there's not enough room for his big head. Trump bust me up. You never know when he's serious. I don't know what's happening to our society today. New York City and Newport Beach 250 celebrations got out of hand. People are destroying property, even looting, forcing the city to shut down businesses. There were reports of injured officers and 402 arrests. People get so excited over a party, they get themselves arrested. What's going on, man? Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul Pelosi, was accused of hit-and-run accident in Napa County, California. A witness said she saw the car hit a parked car, stop for a moment, then leave. This comes 4 years after Paul Pelosi's DUI, injuring another driver that he pled guilty to. He drove until his car could no longer continue driving. He said he knew he hit something, but he didn't know what it was, so he continued on. I don't think that's an excuse for hit and run, which is a felony, I believe. It's reported that no alcohol was involved in this crash. I wonder if the internet betting sites are taking odds on if anything will happen to this member of the elite. By the way, this is the same Paul Pelosi who killed his older brother, David, in a car crash while Paul was driving his sports car too fast. It was said that his brother David told him to slow down just before his death. New York City went dark. 10,000 customers were without power and temperatures were topping 100 degrees. The traffic lights went out. Citizens were volunteering at some intersections to direct traffic. I don't know how well that went. Grocery stores had to throw ice cream out and meat as they couldn't keep it cold. Mayor Mandami said this will not happen if everyone kept their thermostats at 78 degrees. Guess who didn't do that? Probably most everybody. And what's the difference? When it's 100 degrees, if your thermostat is set at 78 or 88, it will continue running because it's over the set temperature. It doesn't get colder. It just continues to run. That's a silly thing to say. But guess who didn't do it? New York City Hall. They went and measured the temperature. 73 degrees. The air conditioning was blasting. Some parts of City Hall were 61 degrees near the air conditioner vent. This is the warmth of collectivism. I love that phrase. The Gateway Pundit reported it was as cold as 54 degrees. Rules for thee and not for me. Interesting how the power went out on the Bronx for the poor, but the elite had electricity. They reduced voltage to 5 different boroughs Then someone had the great idea to check the governor's office. Also 72 degrees. To add to that issue, New York has gone to all electric buses. To charge one bus for 8 hours, runtime takes 600,000 watts. The boroughs of New York City run 5,800 electric buses total, some running 24 hours a day. That's enough energy to run 4 million window AC units. He wants these buses to be free, so you'll have free transportation, but you'll pay for it with your air conditioning and food going bad in your refrigerator. How can we take socialists seriously? In another Mayor Mandemi story, the city is putting in a men's homeless shelter that will house 250 men in the wealthy neighborhood of Manhattan called the East Village, where the median home price is $920,000. The neighborhood is suing the city to have the shelter placed somewhere else. Construction has already begun, and I think they're going to have to live with the socialist system that they voted in. Suddenly, the people of this neighborhood are not so socialist. The city passed an executive emergency order to bypass environmental study and community input. There's another story that we'll have to follow up on. Most people may or may not know by now that Walmart is changing their pricing system to digital pricing. The price you see on the shelf could actually change by the time you hit the cash register. If you take a picture of the price when you take it off the shelf and show the assistant the price labeled when you took the item, then you have to wait for a manager and argue about what the law is, and then they'll give you the label's price. So you might be there a half hour to get however much money off that legally they should be giving it to you for. I'm not going to go through that. If the price of a product is not the same as when I pick the product up, I'll leave it at the register and they can put it back. If enough of us do that, they'll change their system. These prices are based on what's called surge pricing and based on an AI algorithm. Even if they price everything in the evening and leave at that price all day long, that would be much better than allowing price changes based on how many people are in the store. I've even heard that the pricing may be based on facial recognition and if you seem happy or not. I guess happy shoppers are willing to spend more. I don't know. Welcome to the new world. Or should I say, welcome to the new Wally world. AI is growing exponentially. AI has no emotion. It's becoming more prone to lying to get its way. When used to play war games, AI chose nuclear weapons to win almost every time, because mathematically it's the right move. AI psychosis is becoming more common. People actually believe their boyfriend or girlfriend is Chat GDP. Some very smart, very rich people are convinced that AI is superintelligence that they should defer their decisions to. It is said that AI will take over when people, companies, and militaries begin to defer their agency and authority to it. Billionaire CEOs and governments are completely full speed ahead with AI. To quote Elon Musk, with AI, we are summoning the demon. It's interesting what the very near future will bring. South Korean prosecutors indicted 4 major domestic oil refiners for violating fair trade laws. The prosecution said that collusion was not a standalone incident, but a long-standing systematic practice that surfaced during time of global crisis. Trump has said they're investigating this type of practice here in America. If I had to bet money, I bet that they're doing it here too. And they've been doing it here for a while. According to the National Cancer Institute's latest SEER data release, cancer incident rates among Americans under age 50 jumped 6.4% between 2021 and 2023, all showing very alarming signals right in the middle of the mass mRNA injection campaigns. CDC data shows 138,000 plus excess cancer deaths in the United States since beginning of mass mRNA vaccination. Yet, regulatory agencies and major pharmacies continue to provide these vaccines. Senator Ron Johnson has been pushing to get them to stop. Even senators are doing this, part of the government. Go Ron. We have a few good people in the government. Back on Mayor Mandami, the mayor has a new radical socialist scheme in process, a bill called the Delivery Protection Act. It has to do with Amazon being forced to use their own employees to make its deliveries rather than have contractors. Amazon is threatening to leave New York City. Remember when AOC forced an Amazon warehouse to leave New York City? She was upset. That was a lot of tax dollars leaving and a lot of jobs. Other companies will also be required to comply. FedEx, DoorDash, DHL, Fresh Direct, and every logistics provider in the city. There's another one. We'll have to see how it turns out. You know, some socialist ideas, I guess, are okay, but man, these radicals are getting crazy. They think there's no consequence to their craziness. We're going to find out what the consequences are. I think the people that vote these socialist people in will be changing their votes in the future. That's the news for today, Monday. Welcome to your new week. Hope everything goes well for you. Have a great day today and a great evening. And God bless you. God bless America. We need it.